Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, Ford Motor Company versus Taliera L. Mosby, 2501052. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
My name is Taliera Mosby.
Good morning, Mr. Dowski. Your appearance?
Good morning, Robin Stradowski on behalf of Ford Motor Credit Company.
All right, so
And we have spoken. I believe we've come to a resolution of this.
okay, go ahead.
I believe Ms. Mosby is willing to withdraw her motion to set aside default. The default judgment will stand as entered, and we will begin. She will begin making payments of $100 a month, beginning May 20th, and by the 20th of each month thereafter.
All right, so you're going to submit then an order that indicates defendant is withdrawing her motion to set aside default judgment with an installment payment order that says she's going to pay $100 per month beginning on May the what?
20th?
20th, and the 20th of every month thereafter. Is that what you want to do, Ms. Mosby?
I wanted to continue on the same payment plan that we discussed previously. I felt that filing the affidavit for a default judgment was premature because, like I stated, I had a financial hardship. I never ignored the request in which you ruled previously. It was my circumstances as to where I fell behind, but I was making partial payments.
She just told me you agreed to a payment plan of $100 per month. Is that true or false?
Right. The payment plan, which was the same one that we initiated. I don't want it to be a default judgment, meaning that they can change the terms of the amount that's paid. Whatever.
I might have a misunderstanding then when we talked. I thought that it was an understanding that, and we did have some, our connection was a little bit bad when we were speaking, but I did explain that we did file a response to this and that that there was a judgment. We can't re-enter into agreement back and forth when we had already entered into that one. If she would like to go forward with her motion, she could. I believe that she said that she was going to be withdrawing that, but I don't want to misinterpret anything to the court. So if she wanted to continue with her motion, she could do that. But what we could agree to is to set up an installment payment plan on the judgment as entered.
Well, the base. I don't know. I'm being told two different things, Ms. Mosby. Do you agree to dismiss your motion to set aside the default judgment and proceed with an installment payment order that calls for you to pay $100 per month? And that's all I need to hear from you right now. Is that what you want to do or not? Starting May 20th.
I want to see if we could if I could have the opportunity to resume my payments with them, with dismissing the judgment and continue that plan. I feel like I had showed effort with that.
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm missing something here, Mr. Dowski. What can you tell me? Was this a conditional dismissal or was it a judgment initially?
It was a conditional dismissal. We attended a pretrial back on September 22nd that she was going to be paying $8,000 at $100 a month, and payments were not made as agreed. We received one payment for $100 in November. Then we had some communication with her in February that she said that she was going to make another payment of $150. We didn't receive that. So in March, we filed an affidavit of default and the judgment was entered.
I see. Okay. And you want to set aside the judgment. It's not a default judgment. It's more of a judgment that's converted because you didn't comply with the terms of conditional dismissal, correct? Is that true, Ms. Mosby?
Well, I was in communication with them.
Well, I know, but you didn't make your payments as you were supposed to. True or false?
Yes, I fell behind, but I made partial payments. That's
all right. Well, that isn't good enough. So they're entitled to the judgment. And now the question is, how much are you going to be able to pay? And that's up to you. If you two want me to conduct an a creditor's exam now or an installment payment order hearing, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay. So when I'm making payments in November and I'm emailing the attorney Debbie in response to that, and then I'm making a payment in December, and I call to make an arrangement, and then they send an affidavit if I make a payment on the date that was outlined, they could just send an affidavit to dismiss me communicating with them and showing good faith on that payment arrangement. I owe $250 out of $600.
But you're asking, is there a question, or you didn't make the payments as agreed upon, so they're entitled to the judgment.
So if someone has a financial hardship and I express that, that's
what you agreed to. I didn't agree to it. You agreed to it when you agreed to the terms of the conditional dismissal, and you breached the terms of the conditional dismissal, so they're entitled to a judgment. It didn't have to say we have to have a hearing and the court has to determine that the defendant could have paid and didn't. It's just you didn't pay, so they're entitled to a judgment. Now the question is, going forward, how do they collect on the judgment? They can garnish wages, they can garnish bank accounts, they can garnish tax returns, they can execute on property. If you enter into an installment payment order, they're not prohibited from doing any of those things, but they are prohibited from garnishing wages. Some plaintiffs' counsels don't do that. If you're paying in accordance with the installment payment terms, they don't seek to collect on tax returns or garnish bank accounts. But that doesn't mean that they won't, or they have to agree to it, or that they should agree to it. So I don't know what else I can do for you. I'm gonna deny your motion to set aside the judgment because you didn't comply with the terms of the judgment.
Okay.
Now, what do you want to do?
I'll make the $100 payments per month, like I stated with an attorney.
Is that, you want to submit a separate order for that, Ms. Stradowski?
Yes, we can.
Set forth an order denying motion to set aside judgment.
Yes.
And then you can do on a separate document installment payment order that calls for her to pay $100 per month commencing on May 20th.
Yes, we will do that.
Now, if you don't do that, then they're going to move to set aside the installment payment order, and they might go so far as having creditors exam and make you bring in your car titles, your bonds, your stocks, your ownership of real estate, where you work, your tax returns, etc. And then they can start garnishing. So you want to make sure you stay with those payment plans, okay?
Yep, okay.
All right. Anything else?
Nothing further from us.
Anything else, Sam? Ms. Mosby?
No. You
Good
made
luck.
the ruling is fine. I'll just have to do what I need to do. That's fine. Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right,
Yep.
thank you. Have a good day.
Well, the judge brought down the hammer, said the payment plan was breached. Just $100 a month now, all your bank accounts get reached. They're gonna garnish all your taxes, gonna take your stocks and bonds. Miss the 20th of May and your favorite ride is gone. So you better pay the motor folks, keep the repo man at bay.